Legend of Zelda 1 and 2 definitely set the benchmark for a high standard of action-adventure for the series. Now what would we expect when they made the move to 16-bit? Let's find out on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is a top-down action-adventure game that was set before the first two installments and was released in Japan on 21st November 1991. This will be the third installment for the series. The player again assumes the role of Link as he must save Hyrule from the Demon King Ganon, rescuing descendants and collecting 7 stages in order to complete the game. Receiving critical and commercial success, the game was a landmark for Nintendo that was also ported to the GBA, and with a grand total of 6.5 million copies sold by 2004, and is considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time. Check it out. Let me just start with how visually appealing this is. The game again reverts to an overhead perspective just like the first installment, with upgraded weapon and equipment mechanics for better controls. And these are solid. Composed by Koji Kondo, just sounds brilliant. The game actually had its own CD released by Sony Records in Japan on the 22nd of June 1994. The Legend of Zelda: Sound and Drama. Another big noticeable difference would have to be the level designs, environments and weather effects. Brings a lot more life to the game and keeps the player a lot more engaged. Fantastic.
So if you press the start button, you bring up all your equipment and items. I mean, it's a pretty decent layout. Got yourself a bunch of sprites for icons, your sword, shield. Pretty good. I tell you what, this game is very similar to Ocarina of Time, or the equivalent, but in 2D.
Alright, I'm gonna locate Zelda. I believe she's locked away in some dungeon downstairs. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to puzzle solving, but Zelda games put a whole different spin on the genre, eh? So much fun. We've also got to locate a map. We're getting a bit lost in this maze. Not bad by any means though. Alright, I'm assuming we're going to go down here. Very good. So the key, there's chest, we got the map. And how do we use this map? X button. Okay, so we've got like 3 or 4 floors here. This may take some time, eh? Go. Another cool feature is you can throw items at the enemies, kill them. Where we going, man? This is going on forever, eh? Go. No, key. Open this chest. Boomerang. Nearly dead, come on. More goons. Yeah, you really got to get the right angle on them, eh? Plenty of hearts. What's this dude? Boss battle. Got your chain on a hook or something. Oh! Alright. Ah! Here we go. Big key. Overall, this is a definition of a sequel. Great game, definitely check it out.
The Philips CDI was an interactive CD-based console that could play FMV or full motion videos, CD graphics, audio and photos. With online capabilities, multimedia reference titles or edutainment if you would, and was released in 1990 for $1,000 which is equivalent to $1,990 in 2021. This thing was overpriced and it sucked. I will be doing an episode on the CDI later in the near future, but for now, let's just get a taste of some of the foul that was released for this piece of crap. And as much as I hate ROM files and prefer the real hardware, trying to get a hold of a working CDI is near impossible. So blow me. Let's check it out on the Acer Nitro 5.
Link, The Faces of Evil and Zelda, A Wand of Gamelon are both action-adventure games that are developed by Animation Magic and published by Philips Interactive and is released on the CDI on the 10th of October 1993. Both games have the player making their way around the world, collecting items, weapons, rubies, defeating enemies as the player traverses new areas of the map that are revealed in order to advance throughout the game. Receiving piss-poor reviews from many publications, the games are known as mediocre to say the least, and IGN ranked them amongst Nintendo's biggest failures despite the games not actually being made by Nintendo. Check it out.
Go to Gamelon and find my father.
Great!
Now you guys are probably wondering to yourself, what the hell is this and how is this piece of crap made? Well, in 1989, Nintendo signed a deal with Sony Interactive to begin development on a new CD-based console. Nintendo actually broke that agreement, signed a deal with Philips, and gave them permission or licenses, if you would, for a few of their characters, such as Link, Zelda, Ganon, and Mario. Now, of course, this pissed Sony off, so they decided, the hell with it, we'll build our own goddamn console. And thus, the PlayStation began development. But anyways, the game was given a budget of $600,000 to be developed in 1 year, and even if you're partially blind, it still shows. I won't judge the controls because this is just a ROM file, but everything else about this game looks, sounds, and tastes awful. Keep in mind that Nintendo had nothing to do with this piece of crap, but need I digress, let's give it a chance. What's this? How the hell do we get out of here? You're kidding me. The crevice and the platforms in the backdrop that you can barely see? Stupid design. The hit detection works, I'll give it that. This is the remastered. The original version is freaking horrible, and the biggest problem you'll have is being at the right height to kill your enemies. If you're off by a millimeter, it'll be ineffective. You'll also find that you'll take damage a lot, and there's not much of an indicator except for your heart in the corner. You'll get trampled by enemies, and you're gonna die a lot. What the hell are these enemies? A bunch of pigs. Ah, what? What the hell is this? A bunch of raptors that chuck axes and pterodactyls. This is not Jurassic Park. These enemies suck. What's going on here? We can't collect the rubies. Oh, so you gotta stab them. Same with interacting with other characters. Whatever. What? That's what I thought, you asshole. What's in here?
Hello, dearie.
What is with these cringy cutscenes, man? They look like they were created using MS Paint or PowerPoint. Whatever the case, they look horrible and I hate them.
Lovely. Bring some fairy dust and I'll make it a magic cloak.
What the fuck?
Overall, the gameplay isn't the worst, but it still kinda sucks. For a game with a $600,000 budget, this thing just spells uninspiring, boring, and cringe to say the least. And for a game with the Zelda name, it's easy to see why Nintendo would disown or not acknowledge the series. But you know what's funny? The developers didn't stop there, they made another game to the series, Zelda's Adventure, in 1994. Maybe next year we'll check that out, but I'd probably rather kill myself.
Will Majora's Mask be as good as its predecessor, Ocarina of Time? I highly doubt it. Let's check it out anyway.
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is an action-adventure sequel to Ocarina of Time that's developed and published by Nintendo and was released worldwide in the year 2000 and only took 2 years to develop. The game takes place 2 months after the events of its predecessor, where Link ends up in Termina, a parallel world to Hyrule, as he must traverse a number of stages, collecting items, solving puzzles, enemies, boss battles, as Link learns that the world is in danger from the moon that will fall in 3 days. Like its predecessor, Majoras must receive critical acclaim and success, with a 95 out of 100 Metacritic score, runner-up for GameSpot's annual best N64 game, and a grand total of 3.36 million copies sold worldwide. Let's check it out. I'll be honest, I've only played this game a handful of times when I was a bit younger. I was too busy grinding Ocarina of Time, but this is definitely a worthwhile sequel to the series. Being on the same platform, you'll find that the developers have reused some assets, character models, and slight tweaks with the music. Not bad by any means, the game does try to separate itself from its predecessor with a more dark tone and atmosphere, new environments, and the game's plot revolves around mask transformations and time. Let's talk about that. So Majora's Mask is based off the novel, and which revolves around a perpetually 3-day cycle. This basically means that before you do or attempt anything, whether it be a temple, dungeon, boss fight, whatever the case, you better make sure you have time. Sounds tedious? Well, it is. Although Link can speed up or slow down the whole process with items and whatnot, in my opinion, it's annoying. But I can understand the concept. As I said earlier, the devs wanted to separate this from Ocarina of Time, and that's fine, I guess. The rest of the game definitely makes up for it. Once again, a game like this is big, and there's just too much to talk about. In layman terms, acquire masks, use mask abilities, traverse new areas, defeat boss battles, rinse and repeat.
Oh, giddy up, Pona. Come on. There we go. What's this? A tree or something? It talks. Pretty cool. Even after just an hour of gameplay, this game feels and plays nothing like Ocarina of Time, which is a good thing. There's nothing worse than getting a game that's just recycled. This is different. Majora's Mask is actually pretty scary, eh? The tone it sets, yeah, it's pretty creepy. Was that Zoro? I tell you what, there's so many different environments to explore and whatnot. This is a big upgrade, eh? Oh no, you hear that? Do you know what that means? It means the game's nearly over. That's probably the game's only flaw in my opinion. The rest of it is just brilliant. I also forgot to mention, when you speed up or slow down time, you lose all your items. Bombs, rubies, arrows, it's all gone. You gotta start all over again.
We'll just check out some levels and environments, give you guys a look at the gameplay. I believe there's a total of 24 different masks with their respective transformations. Either way, this game's going to keep you busy. You're kidding me. Sit down! No squirming, sit down!
Big octos and freaking lights. I hate them. Sun just rose. Now, just like Ocarina of Time, you got yourself a whole bunch of weapons and whatnot, your bombs, your bow, your arrow, sword, all sorts of stuff. I vaguely remember where everything is in this game, so we might just go in this direction. What do we got here? A bunch of rats with bombs on their tails. Interesting. Oh, what the hell? That's pretty epic. Ugh. Graveyard. Not as spooky as the one in Ocarina of Time, but still pretty scary, I guess. Who's this bloke? Can we interact with him? No, we can't. Oh well. Surely there's a secret spot here. There we go. See what's in the chest. Oh, nice.
Overall, Majora's Mask is a great addition to the series. I will be doing an entire playthrough in my spare time, that's for sure. Let's just hope that time is on our side. Great game. Tune in next year as we continue the Zelda series with such games as Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild. On B's Pizzas, and I'm out of here.